Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So after over a year out of the ring, Karriss Artingstall, the former Olympian bronze medalist, she becomes the inaugural British featherweight champion by outpointing Raven Chapman over 10 rounds. It was a unanimous decision. I had this 97-93, which kind of tied in more or less with the judges. A couple of them had it point wider or point closer or something like that. But it was that type of fight, like a sort of 7-3 fight, really. And Chapman came in with, she was actually coming off a defeat because she'd fought Skye Nicholson in her previous fight. This was back in October of last year over in Riyadh for the WBC featherweight title. And she'd lost on points. So this is back-to-back defeats against good opponents. Skye's very good. Karriss is very good. But Raven does slip to 2 wins with 2 defeats, no draws. 9 wins with 2 defeats, no draws. 2 by KO, 2 wins by KO. She's 31 years old now, so she's, she's not finished by any stretch of the imagination. There's no shame in losing 2 back-to-back fights to 2 quality women, but is she going to be one of those nearly women, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on her, but Karriss Artingstall, despite that 13, 14 months out, whatever it was, she was looking good. She was looking good in there. She's southpaw, 30 years old. And interestingly, when the fight started, Chapman was, this is the second southpaw in a row she's faced, because she faced Nicholson, who's a southpaw. Artingstall has a very different style, but they're both left-handers. And to be honest with you, Chapman's the fight went kind of, the Artingstall fight went the same way as the Skye fight, in the sense that she began very, very busily. Raven Chapman did, very busy, chasing after the opponent, front-footed, looking to land her own punches, but she was being picked off pretty early. And she gave, in the first 3 rounds against Skye, she gave her something to think about, but then Skye took over, found her rhythm, and Chapman sort of faded away. And that was pretty much how this fight went too, although the difference was that Artingstall managed to floor Chapman and really put her back in her box early on. This was in the second round. In the second round, Chapman was coming forward, and quite early on in the round, again, they're 2-minute rounds, 10 2-minute rounds, so it's a sprint, another of those awful sprints. But early in the second round, Artingstall landed the backhand, left hand, and got Chapman's attention. She actually shook her, and I thought, oh, she's got to be careful of that, But a minute later, suddenly, this was right towards the end of the second round, they were exchanging, and Artingstall fired the backhand again, and it sort of sat Chapman down, knocked her down, and she got up. She wasn't hurt, but it was a genuine, knockdown. There was it wasn't what you call a flash knockdown. It was a very well executed punch, very accurate. Caught Chapman slap bang in the face and put her over, and that did kind of, sort of piss on her chips a bit, I suppose. Because from then on, even though Chapman was sort of coming forward, she didn't quite have the same intent, the same sort of nastiness, the same urgency. And Artingstall was definitely finding her rhythm by the 4th round. She was controlling the range, finding her rhythm, nice flow of straight punches, very well executed. I like Artingstall's style. She's got a very conventional, well-schooled style, very textbook. She stands, quite upright. I think she's about 5'7" for a featherweight. That's a pretty good height. And she uses the tools that she has very, very well. Technique's good, nice jab, varies the punches. Doesn't mind if the opponent finds her way inside. She's quite prepared to have a little exchange when she needs to. And to be honest with you, it was that amateur background, that schooling that made the difference here. She's only got 1 KO on her record, Artingstall. In fact, this was only her 7th fight, I think. But she, again, like with a lot of these girls, they need more than 2 minutes to get their work done very often. There'd be so many more stoppages if there were 3-minute rounds. And she probably hits harder, Karriss does, than that record suggests. But yeah, it was kind of one-way traffic. Certainly in the second half of the fight, even though you couldn't fault Chapman's effort. It wasn't that she was that she sort of mentally given up. It was more a case of her, feeling as if the impression I got was that she just didn't have the imagination. She didn't have the variety of punch. She didn't have enough tools in her box to sort of, make things awkward for Karriss. Once Karriss found her rhythm and controlled the range, and then there was the southpaw stance to deal with. It all seemed like Artingstall was just a step ahead constantly, a punch ahead, a move ahead. And as a result, she ran out, I think a very clear winner. I did give, like I say, I gave Raven 3 rounds, but at least one of those could have gone the other way. I think the judges got this right. And now that's 2 fights on the trot against southpaws where Chapman has, I won't say flattered to deceive, but she's begun quite well and then just sort of lost her way and ended up sort of desperately wanting to get in close and do something, but not really having the schooling or the sort of fistic makeup to do it. There aren't enough sort of weapons in a toolbox, whereas someone like Artingstall, former Olympian, very, very well-schooled fighter, like I say, very textbook. She can fight that sort of opponent all day. Now, there is talk of Artingstall maybe facing Sky Nicholson at featherweight. Sky has to fight, what's the kid's name? American girl. Tirana someone? I can't remember her name offhand. But yeah, I think that's a natural fight. Sky is with Matchroom. Karriss is with Boxer. We know that Eddie Hearn doesn't like Ben Shalom at all and constantly tries to bully him. Yeah, put them together. I do think that Sky is going to be very, very difficult to beat over 10 2-minute rounds. Very difficult because of her style, that fencing style she's got. But stick her in with another southpaw who's got very, very good fundamentals. Yeah, I'd watch that fight. Sky is not the most entertaining fighter to watch. I find her fights kind of dull. Karriss has a bit more entertainment value. But I definitely think Karriss can give Sky the toughest fight of her career. Is it Tarana Brown? Is that the girl's name? Sky's going to be fighting in Australia on the undercard of Cambosis comeback fight. Yeah, put them in the ring. I'd watch it. Anyway, what do you think of this? What do you think of this fight? Do you think Karriss can go on to win a world title, maybe beat Nicholson? Who would you like to see her fight next? And Chapman, back-to-back losses. I think she's with Queensbury. I don't know whether Warren will bother with her anymore, but she's going to have to start again because this was for the British title, so she's dropped down. She's already dropped from world level to British level, and now that she's lost this fight, yeah, she needs a few wins under her belt. So maybe for her the comeback's on. We'll see. But anyway, let me know what you think. Comments below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the like button, do all that good stuff, spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, and I'll catch you later. Thanks very much. Bye for now.